Hello friends, welcome to the Trading Temple channel. Today we're going to analyze the Near Protocol coin and also talk about Bitcoin. The chart you see here is the Near Protocol chart. As you can see, we've discussed this trend line in previous weeks and it broke through this trend line beautifully. Unfortunately, as it approached resistance, it formed a shooting star candle and we said there would be a pullback. We needed to see whether this pullback would be a healthy one or a sharp downward pullback. What happened in this area was that it retested this trend line and also a short-term support, which allowed for a small bounce, but it couldn't hold because Bitcoin's price dropped, causing this trend line to break and Near Protocol to drop to another level. What's important now for Near Protocol in this area, if we look at the 4-hour time frame, is that we have a short-term support, which we had talked about, and this support needs to hold. As you can see, we've had a decent bounce so far, but it's not a bounce we can rely on much because the trend line has been broken and it's clearly retesting this trend line, which now acts as resistance. This is a risk and the price might go lower. What's important now, if we look at the daily time frame, is that all the moving averages for Near Protocol are in this area. Here we have a golden crossover. A golden crossover means that when the 50-day moving average crosses the 100-day and 200-day moving averages, it's considered bullish. But in this case, since the price has dropped so sharply, it might reject it. But the important thing is that this area needs to hold. Now on the Bitcoin chart, I'm going to show you some things that make things a bit difficult for Near Protocol, which could cause Near Protocol's price to suddenly drop in this area and then come back up. This is also a possibility, it might happen. But what's important right now, as I said, is that on the 4-hour time frame, Near Protocol needs to hold these levels in this area. We have to see what the Bitcoin chart shows and whether it breaks this trend line upwards again. For now, personally, I don't see anything bullish for Near Protocol until it manages to break through the area I've marked with this box, meaning the price needs to come above this trend line, pull back, break through this short-term resistance, and move into this area for us to turn bullish. For now, Near Protocol situation is a bit complicated, just like other altcoins. Let's move to the Bitcoin chart, analyze Bitcoin, and see what's going on with it. Bitcoin has pretty much lost its short-term support here, and the price has dropped sharply, getting close to its last major support. This support is roughly between $107,000 and $109,000. What I've personally been watching these past few days is that Bitcoin's situation is a bit strange. Whenever it wants to form a bottom, it usually does a liquidity sweep. What does a liquidity sweep mean? It means, for example, if we have a support level here and many people are taking buy positions around these areas, and when institutions want to enter, say, Bitcoin or gold or any asset, usually the smaller players get shaken out, like here they get liquidated and then the price bounces back up. The money and orders that are here get taken by the institutions for themselves and the price quickly returns upward. What's important is that we can clearly see in this section that Bitcoin has repeated this move several times. So what does this move mean? Let me explain this move one more time. Look, in this section here, Bitcoin formed a bottom and went up, and many people who had opened buy positions here had their stop losses just below this level. When the price comes back down and hits these orders, it triggers people's stop losses. Institutions usually do this, which is called a liquidity sweep. Price goes down, hits their stops, and then bounces back up. You can see that Bitcoin has done this here once. It broke these two lows and went down, then came back up. We see it did the same thing again here. Price went down and then bounced back up. And once more, it happened here. So, throughout the entire bull run that Bitcoin has had over the past 2 years, this has happened several times during the upward movement, causing it to form a bottom. Now in this section, I've drawn a few emojis here to show the money that's below this area, where many people have their stop losses and have placed orders. I strongly believe that the institutions will do another liquidity sweep here, meaning the price will likely go down here and then bounce back up sharply. This could happen. What would the situation look like? It would be something like this. When it goes down, look at the left side of the chart. What do we see? Here, we see a gap. If I want to draw a box here, you could say that part of the box is here and another part is here. So in this area, a liquidity sweep could happen and the price could bounce back up. But if the price reaches this area, if I want to draw it, it would look like this. If the price gets here and can't bounce back up, only comes back for a back test and then goes down, in my opinion, Bitcoin is done for. And there's a very high chance it will enter a bear market because this area will likely be lost as well. But if it can touch these two red lines and bounce back up, that's very good because between these two red lines, it will fill the gap. It has the 200-day moving average, and it also has this long-term trend line from 2 or 3 years ago. So it could touch this and bounce back up, liquidating some people along the way. This could happen. If what I said happens, it's good for near protocol and altcoins. But if the worst scenario happens, meaning it breaks through these two red lines and heads toward $100,000 and also breaks this trend line, then, in my opinion, Bitcoin is done for and will very likely enter a bear market. Let's see what happens in the coming weeks. Now, if we look at the total market cap chart has become a bit complicated. Right now, it's near the last support in this area, and you can see there are some gaps here. This could also happen here. If we get a liquidity sweep in Bitcoin, the same thing could happen to the total market cap, and the situation would be something like this. Price goes down, fills these gaps, and then bounces back up. This could happen. If it does and can get back above the range, that's very good and gives hope for altcoins. But if it doesn't happen and just goes up from here, that's okay. If it goes down, grabs liquidity, and then comes back above the range, that's also okay. But if it goes down and can't get back above the range, in my opinion, it could be over. Let's see what happens by next week. That was today's video about Near Protocol and Bitcoin. I'd be happy if you like and subscribe, and don't forget, trading is never 100% certain. Everything is based on probability. And one more thing, don't forget, I'm not a financial advisor and this is not financial advice. Until the next video, goodbye.